Okay, so let's talk about this one. Some have said promise made, promise kept. Let's talk about Anthony Joshua on the show this morning. Last weekend on Saturday, of course, he presented his 4 heavyweight titles to the president, President Muhammadu Buhari, and that's the gesture everyone's been talking about. Of course, he is somebody who...
what do you call that in Yoruba? I mean,
respect, someone that has home training, that was brought up well. I mean, when you greet your elders from the part that Anthony Joshua belongs to, that's how you greet your elders. That's how you show that you were brought up well by your parents. And when you do that, you're not the only person that gets the credit. All your family members get the credit for raising you well. And that's why a lot of people receive the credit.
Imagine a child raised in London being able to do this. That's remarkable.
He's still in touch with his culture. That's what it means. And of course, a lot of applause, a lot of presented his belts. 6 weeks ago, he reclaimed that title from Andy Ruiz Jr. And there were talks that before that incident happened, he had promised that he was going to present the belts. And this was promise made and promise kept in that one. So let's just see if we can get a listen to Anthony Joshua, what he said at that occasion, and probably come for more on Sports This Morning.
And listening to the diaspora, I started doing my own research on a lot of the connections between Africa as a whole, as a continent, not just countries. I know we're Nigeria focused, but Africa as a whole, because we're all one people to a certain degree. And it's amazing to hear what I'm connected with. So even though I'm running my own track in boxing, to sit here amongst you great people, Your Excellency, and to listen to some of the achievements and visions that you have for Nigeria makes me feel proud. And I do strongly feel for us kids in the UK that have swayed a bit from our heritage and our culture. If you want to know where you're going, you have to know where you're coming from. I really strongly believe that. As you guys said, if there's anything that us youth, because I can connect with a lot of the youth from here to Nigeria to America to even countries that don't even involve our culture, but they have respect for us. If there's anything that you guys need me for, I'll stand up for Nigeria.
All right, Anthony Joshua there speaking. Some of the things we already said about him. I mean, if you know, he knows where he's coming from.
Absolutely.
Forget the fact that he represents Britain. He knows where he's from. He knows his lineage, and of course, shows in all of that. What else can we say about Anthony Joshua?
Yeah, it's a great one, you know, meeting with President Buhari in the UK on Saturday. And of course, we talked about the fact that on this show that he was going to meet with him. We thought, okay, will he come to Nigeria? What's going to happen? But then during Buhari's visit, he had to do this. And I love the fact that, you know, when you have a heavyweight, I mean, a superstar like this, I mean, not even looking at the fact that, okay, I'm representing Britain and all, understanding where he's coming from, which he said have actually helped him, because the die-hard spirit, that strong mentality that Nigerians have, even when everything is all gone, that is usually what is left. So a good one. We're just waiting for the day. Maybe, just maybe, the IBF, WBA, WBO, and the IBO titles that he has won, maybe one day we'll be able to come to Nigeria and maybe have a title fight right here. Okay, I'm talking too much right now. But then we are hopeful, and I love this, you know, respect, man. Okay, let's leave Anthony Joshua now and quickly talk about what's happening in the UFC, right? Yeah, UFC, you know, Nigerians, we've been talking about the fact that Nigerians actually dominating this UFC.
Taking it by storm, really.
Absolutely. And one thing that is synonymous with some of these, most of these UFC fighters is the fact that, I mean, they've been on our show. They talked about the fact that they want to dominate everyone, come to the world and do everything. But then before we talk about Conor McGregor, let's talk about our own Sadiq Yusuf. Sadiq Yusuf, last year, he was on this show. You know, he talked about the fact that he wants to be known like every other Nigerian stars who are in the UFC. Talking about the style bender himself, that's Israel Adesanya. You also have Kamaru Usman. And this guy says he wants to rule the UFC, and they're doing it. So for Sadiq Yusuf, he was able to have a fight, one of the undercards, you know.
Fourth
Before you have-
consecutive win for him.
Before you have the Conor
by the way.
McGregor's bout, fourth consecutive one, 11 in all, so which is a cool one for him. Against Philip, it was against Philip, but he was able to win that one. We'll talk about that when we come back from this break.